Hello, my name is Pratiksha Manglekar and welcome to today's session on communication skills. This is the first part of the video on communication skills. What we'll do is first learn what communication is. Now, communication is nothing but when you want to say something to another person and you say it using words, using language, and the opposite person understands what you are saying and responds. Okay, that is considered as a complete message sent. Okay, so the communication process, these are the elements that are there. So there is we always begin at the sender. However, this is a cyclical process. That is why you see the arrows going back to the sender again. So there's a sender, and you can also see the receiver at the opposite end. Below you can see the receiver. So the sender has to send a message essentially, but then that message is always encoded. Okay, meaning it is you can consider encoding as a using words or using language. The person kind of puts it in a puzzle. Okay, and it is encoded, the message is encoded and sent through a channel. Channel can be anything. So if you are sending it, say, through some social media app, that will be your channel. Okay, encoding is essentially the language, the way it is written. So the message is encoded and it is sent through a channel and the receiver receives it. Now once the message is received, the encode what is the receiver going to do? The encoded message needs to be decoded. The receiver will read the message and understand the meaning out of it. Obviously, once the receiver receives it, there will be something the receiver will want to say back. Okay, will want to give a feedback. Okay, and then the feedback is again given by the receiver. Understand that whenever the receiver is going to give the feedback, again that message will be encoded. Okay, and again it is sent through a channel and received by the sender. Then the sender will again decode the message and understand what the message is. Right, this is a regular communication process in day-to-day lives. Sometimes the communication process can stop only at the receiver. Okay, where in places where you don't require a feedback. Two friends speaking, definitely you require a feedback is usually there. Instead of feedback, you can simply say response also. But say it is an order given by your principal, you simply have to follow the orders. Correct? In that case, the sender will be your principal and receiver is you as a student. The sender will send the message, you will receive it. You will not give any feedback to your principal. Understand? In those cases, the communication process stops at receiver. It is still complete. We need to understand this process is cyclical. In this slide, there are more details about it. So sender is the one who starts the communication, and encoding is what the sender thinks about saying, what the sender has in his or her mind, that is encoded with words. Message, the sender says what they were thinking, whatever was thought is written down or said. Channel, what is used to send the message. Like I said, it can be any application, or if no application is used, then this won't be the channel. Then the receiver, the person the message is for whom it is intended. Next, decoding, the receiver thinks about what the message means to them. Next is feedback, the receiver responds to the message. Channel, what is used to send the feedback, channel that is used. Alright, now in this entire communication process, there can be noise or barrier. These are the obstructions in the communication process. What is noise? Noise keeps the receiver from hearing the part of the message, and barrier keeps the receiver from hearing all of the message. Noise you can consider as a disturbance. Okay, whenever you are speaking, there can be a lot of noise. Like right now, when I am recording this lecture, I'm sure there is some or the other noise that is there. Say there are crickets in the background, or you can there's a fan okay, which is making noise. If I am absolutely silent, you can definitely hear that noise. If this noise goes beyond a level where you actually cannot hear what I am saying, it can disturb the communication process. Okay, barriers can be, say you have sent a message and the receiver does not receive it at all, say internet problem. Okay, that could be a barrier, just for example. So we need to learn this process, communication process, properly with, say, a lot of examples. Okay, and this is a two-way communication process. It's a complete process. Communication is considered complete when the receiver also gives feedback. All right. Okay, so you can see here one person is trying to convey their thoughts, and all these are encoded thoughts which are given to the receiver, and the receiver further decodes them to understand what is there, right? Let us look at the 7C model. Okay, this is a very important topic when it comes to communication. So 7C model, it's written here for effective business communication, for any kind of communication, for effective communication, what is required. So these are a combination of 7 C's. This can be asked in a lot of exams. So we always begin with clear. Let me just tell you what they are: clear, concise, concrete, correct, complete, coherent, courteous. All the communication that is there in everyday life should have all these 7 qualities. Now let us look at them in detail. The 7 C's of communication checklist. First is the message should be extremely clear. Make objective clear. Avoid complex words and phrases. Yes, that is the best way of speaking. You speak with a lot of clarity. Whatever you want to say, you will not further complicate it, because that is going to create a barrier when the receiver is going to receive the message, for him or her to understand. Okay, also we try and use very simple words and phrases. We don't use very difficult words, because difficult words are mostly used in writing. Okay, whereas mostly in common speech, we don't use this, because it's not possible for every person to open the dictionary and look for the word. That is why the message should be clear, it should be concise. Keep it clear and to the point. Avoid filler words and sentences. We need to keep it clear. Okay, and it should not there is a phrase in English which says beating around the bush, meaning you just go instead of saying what you have to say, you go on telling other things that are not related. So we should avoid that. We need to keep the message as short as possible and clear. It should be crystal clear. And avoid filler words, and too many sentences should be avoided. Filler words are simply people keep adding words to make their sentences very lengthy. We need to avoid that. The message must be concise. Next is, it should be concrete. Be specific, not vague. Use facts and figures to support your message. It should be concrete. Okay, it should be very, very specific, and you cannot when you're trying to give a message, you cannot say something very vague. Vague is like, say, something very general. Then the receiver will not really understand what is supposed to be taken from this message. Okay, and in order to support your claim, one should always use facts and figures. Okay, that really helps to make your message stronger. Okay, let's look at the next 4. The message must be correct. That's very important. Try to avoid typos, that is typing mistakes. Use correct facts and figures. Use the right level of language. Okay, we need to avoid making mistakes, any grammatical mistakes or spelling mistakes that can simply create a confusion in the listener's mind or the receiver's mind. Okay, also we need to be correct in the facts that we are using. We cannot say that, we cannot give wrong information. Next is the message must be coherent. Does your message make sense? Ensure it flows logically. Avoid covering too much. Okay, the message must be coherent. Whatever you're trying to say should be sensible. Okay, it should not be something that is stupid or unbelievable or simply false, mythical. Also, there should be a certain flow in the conversation. Also, we should not try to cover what we are trying to say too much. Message must be coherent. Message must be complete. Next, C. Does a message contain everything it needs to? Include a call to action. Okay, the message must be complete. You cannot give half information to someone, okay, unless you don't know more. You should always give complete information. Last is the message must be courteous, or you should be courteous while delivering the message. Being polite builds goodwill. Ensure message is tactful. Okay, being courteous is a very good quality that you can always express. No matter what message you are giving, always you need to be courteous. Alright, with this we come to the end of the first part. In the next part, we'll discuss more on the communication skills. In this part, we have discussed in detail about what is communication and the 7 C's of communication. Alright, thank you.